Good morning and welcome to Kramer's Corner with a daily technical update. It is Thursday and it is the 13th of February and it's cold outside here where I am. Let's start with Alphabet today. If I can just expand the chart a little bit, there we go. And Alphabet City or Google. In this educational video, there's no advice or recommendation intended at all. It's for educational purpose only. And Google or Alphabet's C share, as we can see here, it is just above the support here at 183.30 level. If it closes below, well, then we are looking at 178. Possibly lower, but then we have the 200 moving average coming up here that will give a little bit of a support, but we will have established the bearish trend. It already broken the bullish trend, so we are in a correction phase, possibly also in a bearish trend. So let's see if it can bounce off or if it can break back or break below here. So that will be key here, I think, the next few days. Here on the weekly, we're still in an uptrend, but it is challenged. So keep an eye on these levels here around 183. On the index side, we have S&P500. S&P500 had a nice, almost closed, well, only a 0.25% lower, but it was bullish throughout the day, more or less. And we're still in a bullish trend. There's no divergence on the RSI. We just need to have the upper falling trend line here broken. If it breaks above that, then I think we'll see a new high. Nasdaq 100. What was positive was that it opened lower and then buyers to control more or less throughout the session. And if that can continue and if we can get the RSI back above 60 threshold, well, then we could see a push back above 22,000. Key support still here, 20,974. Dow Jones index still struggling a little bit after this top and reversal pattern here, the bearish engulfing. It is not the most convincing one, but nevertheless, it's there. So keep an eye on that, but we are still in a bullish trend. There is not much divergence really, and key support here at 43,373. EuroStoxx pushed higher again yesterday, still a little bit stressed, but the RSI broke above its and closed above its falling trend line, indicating likely higher levels, but I think we are a little bit stressed. And keep an eye on a sudden correction phase here. It's been a very strong ride, but we need a little bit of a correction before we can move higher. Pre-market, we are set to open a little bit higher. DAX also, if the chart will come up here, sorry about that. I don't know if there is a little bit of, there we are. We can see DAX also pushing higher. I think we could maybe get up to 22,350. Also RSI broken above its falling trend line. Still, there is divergence, and the way you can also see that is if I add a horizontal line, you can see, well, the RSI was over higher here, and it was is lower here at the moment. So there's a little bit of imbalance in the market, but again, the trend of a friend, but we'll keep an eye out for a possible top and reversal pattern. Euro dollar is testing resistance this morning, 104.50. I always add a little bit. 104.50, that's also the 786 retracement here. So we are testing that this morning. If we do get a break above, we could see a push to 105. But if we do close above here in this region here around 105, then I think we could see it pushing higher towards 106. If it's being rejected and slides back below the cloud, and then we could see a test of the support here at 102.70. If it takes out that, well, then downtrend is likely to resume. Cable, sterling dollar, could also test its minor resistance here, 125.50. If it takes out that, well, then we could see a push towards 127, a little bit of a resistance here, just around 126. Maybe there could even be room up to the levels here around 128. If being rejected, and then we are looking at 23.60. Excuse me. We have We have been trading sideways here on euro sterling for quite some time, hovering around, well, basically between 83 and 83 and a half, spiking up a little bit. So this is actually the big range we have to take out, 82.60 and 83.95 for any further or for any direction. Negative sentiment indicating to the downside, but let's see, that can easily change. Dollar yen bounced to the 55 moving average, 50% of the downtrend here. Could push higher, maybe up to the 61.8 here at 155.85, but we have a little bit of stronger resistance. We also have the upper part of the cloud. That will be key to actually establish a bullish trend. If it can't, then it will slide back, and then we could see a retest of these supports down here around 150.85 area. On the euro yen bounced stronger to the 55 also, but here's the 61.8 already reached at 160.84. Could be a little bit of a struggle now, but let's see if it can take out the peak today. Then I think we'll see it push up to around 162 and a quarter. If not, and we start sliding back here, then we could see some weakness kicking in, sliding back to the 159 level. Also yen, also fairly strong bounce to the 61.8 retracement and the 55 moving average. So almost similar picture here. And if being rejected, if it can't really push above the past 2 days peak, then it will slide back here to 56 and maybe lower. Still negative sentiment on the other side. That was the same for euro yen. So we are a little bit negative sentiment hit there. But if it can take out the peaks here from yesterday, then we are looking at 97.80, maybe a little bit higher. Sterling yen pushed above its 61.8, but here we have the 55 moving average just above the 786 retracement, 193.15, where we are very close to now, and that will be key. Can we also see RSI closing back above 60 threshold? However, we have the 55 moving average, we have the 100 moving average, and we have the cloud coming down there, giving some resistance, key strong resistance here up around 195. Aussie dollar still sideways, very tight range here, but it needs to break above 63.30 for upside potential 64 and a quarter. If sliding back lower here and gets down to the area around 62, then I think we'll see it sliding lower, resuming downtrend. Still negative sentiment on the RSI. For now, it's been rejected at the 60 threshold several times, so it can't really get up there, and that will be key for to establish a bullish trend. Dollar Canada testing support here at 142.60, and there's the really key support dipping below. Let's see if it can get a real break or not, and RSI can get back below 40 threshold. If it does, well, then we are looking at 141 area and the 100 moving average and the lower part of cloud in this region here. So that is a key to watch out for the next few days. Sterling Canada, fairly strong bounce at the 38.2 retracement, 178.58, just below the cloud. If it can break back above that, then it's suddenly back above the cloud, and we could see a push up to around 180. Positive sentiment on the RSI indicating we are likely to see that push up to 180 in the coming days. Euro Swiss, well, Euro Swiss had a strong push in the past few days, depending, of course, how you see it. Spiked higher this morning here, just below the previous peaks here, just around 95.17.18. A break above, well, then we are looking at 95.86 area, 95.80, where we have some stronger resistance. Positive sentiment on the RSI, no divergence, indicating we could see that, so keep an eye on what's going on. A little bit of a setback, and then maybe we'll have another push. Dollar Swiss really can't make up its mind what it wants. Was above resistance here, spiked almost up to the 786 retracement, then back again. So for now, for me, it's a little bit directionless. It's like I want to be bearish, I want to be bullish, I don't know what I want. So for now, it's sometimes, and that is what happens sometimes. Sometimes it can be a little bit hard to read, really. So what we sometimes can do, but don't overdo it, draw some trend lines. So is this what we're talking about? Are we having a kind of an ascending triangle-like pattern here? Maybe I will remove this one. Maybe an ascending-like pattern. I'll remove this one. And that maybe that's what we have at the moment. It can't really make up its mind. So stay on the sideline for this one. I would do that. However, if it takes out the peak from yesterday, then we could test the 92 level. Dollar index, more or less the same story, really. Can't really make up its mind. So maybe it's also an ascending triangle-like pattern going on there, testing the lower rising trend line there. If it takes out that one, we could see a push down to maybe 106.40 area where we have some support. We also have the 100 moving average coming up. Still positive sentiment on the RSI, but we had this top and reversal pattern in place, so we can actually say lower low, lower high, low, not a lower low yet. So it's really indecisive here. We can also draw a trend line here and see, well, it's a triangle-like pattern going on. We can only guess at the moment. All right, let's move on because don't spend too much time overthinking it. Gold, can't keep it down, can you? It's really pushing, trying to push higher once again. We have this shooting star-like pattern, not a real one, but still. And if it takes out that, well, then we are looking at 3,000 for sure. Not for sure, but I'm quite sure that we'll do that. We are a little bit stretched on the RSI, but still bullish, and that's what you should do, trust the trend. So if it takes out the, let's just do this, if it takes out that level 28.64, then I think we'll see a correction down to around 2800, 2805, but for now it stays up very nicely, but I will not take a new position at the moment. The silver trying to once again trying to get it back above here, 32.35. If it can take out the peak there, then it will give energy higher towards 33.5, 34 area in this area over here. We are in a bullish trend. There's no divergence indicating likely higher levels. Copper also really strong lately, pushing higher now. That was a small correction, and it's pushing higher. Looking at the weekly, and you should do that. If it takes out 479, it will further confirm the uptrend or bullish picture. Also on the weekly, there's no divergence on the positive RSI. We are likely to see much higher levels in copper in the coming weeks and months. Brent crude oil couldn't really stay up. It was knocked down even before it here at WTI, even before it got up to 200 moving average and the 38.2 retracement, and now it seems to be very close to be testing, or is testing the lows here from last week. And if it takes out that, well, then we are looking at levels down here in the 67 area. Here we can see on the weekly, just adjust it a little bit. See, after we got rejected up there, really couldn't get its mojo back, and I think we will slide lower here in the coming weeks. And if RSI on the daily puts back below 40 threshold, we are pushing down there. Then we'll probably see some buyers coming in again. Here also on the Brent crude oil, got all up to the 38.2 retracement and then knocked down. And if it takes out the 74.10, well, then we are looking at 72 area. Dutch gas in a correction phase, and let's add some Fibonacci to it so we can maybe get an estimate where we can push to. Where we are now at the 38.2 retracement at 53.17. Could drop to the 61 here, but we are, as we have talked about for quite a long time, we are in a bullish trend, but let's see where the week ends, and that could be crucial. However, there's no divergence on the RSI, so indicating we're likely to push higher in the coming weeks, but let's see what happens here in the next few days. Henry Hub in a fairly strong bounce, bounced 50% of the sell-off there, and we talked about the past few days, it could get up to around 380, 381. Key will be what will happen with the RSI here at the 60 threshold. Really interesting development on the US 10-year Treasury yield yesterday, and let's have a look here. I have removed all shoulder, head, shoulder indications and everything because I consider it as being cancelled. It's busted. We got back above 450. We got back above 460 resistance, testing the 61.8 retracement of this downtrend here at 465. Got rejected at first take. We have some resistance there. RSI also rejected a 60 threshold, so it didn't go into full bullish mode or positive sentiment. But if we get a break above, I think if we can get a break above 465 and close above, well, then we are really back in a bullish trend. And we still have it higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. If it takes out that high here, then again up here, well, then we are looking at levels above 5%. So that's really something. A little bit of setback here, I think, next day, and then we will have another try. On the 2-year, has established the bullish trend after, and let's just zoom in a little bit, after pushing above 430 yesterday, and seems like that this is where we're going to take off again from today. So we are back in bullish, and sentiment has been positive all the time, and it actually closed back about 65, so further confirming that bullish picture. Moving on to the European yields, I think we'll see it looking at or testing 250, which is the 61.8 retracement fairly shortly. We are very close to anyway, and could push higher to 254 area if RSI gets back above 60 threshold. That would be key. The UK bouncing almost to the 38.2 retracement at 459. I think we'll see a further bounce up to around 470 here the next couple of days. However, if it starts sliding back here, then we could see a pressure to the 438. Finally, on crypto and Bitcoin, not much to say. Maybe it is trading in Bitcoin here, trading in a triangle-like pattern, needs to break out of. I've drawn these trend lines. I'm not that convinced, but let's see. It could be that picture. Ethereum trying to bounce yesterday, got a little bit above 2800, but this is still, it's trying to really establish or find some solid ground here for a bounce. So let's see about that. I'm not that convinced at the moment, to be honest. All right, that's all for today. Have a nice day and talk to you again later.